Good morning, Wilmington. It's sponsored by Newcastle County Government.
Good morning, Wilmington. It's here. It's your main man, Big Ivan Thomas, with my lovely co-host,
Vincenza. Good morning, Wilmington.
No, you got to say the last name. You got to say the last part. Name. You got to say the last part.
Vincenza
Carradin
Russo.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. You say my last name so well, Ivan. Do you speak Italian?
I know, but I ate at one of my favorite Italian restaurants.
He knows how to eat well.
Shameless plug, V&M Bistro. Good morning, Wilmington. So how's everything going out there? It's a lot. It's getting cold. Really cold. You look at you got a frown on your face.
I don't like the cold weather. I am not a huge fan of the cold weather. However, I do like when the seasons change. I know that it really gets us in the holiday spirit, especially when there's the first snowfall.
Yeah.
Which they're expecting today.
I think it's like 1 to 2 inches, something like that.
Oh no.
But I'm not a fan. I'm definitely not a fan for cold weather. I get like my big self, right? I get such in like baby mode when I'm gonna get too cold out. And this morning I was riding down 95, right? It's a couple things about 95 we want to talk about. But this morning I was riding down 95 and I could see that they were prepping for the snow already. They was prepping last night, but this morning I saw it was more visible. But
it's never good when you see the tow trucks getting ready for the first snowfall. It gets you in, you kind of brace yourself, because the worst thing is driving in the snow. We love the snow. I mean, I love watching it snow, but I don't like driving in the snow.
Well, we didn't have a winter last time. You think we're going to have a winter this year?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I think it's going to be very cold. I think we're going to have freezing temperatures. I hope I'm wrong, but something tells me we are. I really don't like the cold. I mean, everybody at the restaurant, all my customers, all my employees, they make fun of me because I'm bundled up. I already have the scarf, the hat, the gloves, the winter jacket, because we get a lot of takeout orders. So the door is always opening and closing. I don't like the cold. So
no.
But I'm ready. I have my hat, my gloves.
You came in here bundled up today.
I did. Don't make fun of me.
She came in here bundled up.
With my Uggs on.
And she hit that Superwoman transformation ball. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Wilmington. But the talk of it all right now, Vincenza, is of Delaware is 95. Did you see what Del Dot the sign on Delaware Avenue? Delaware.
I thought it was funny how they tried to, I read the post that they had put up on Facebook, how they tried to twist it.
They did a good job.
They did all right.
They did a good job.
You shouldn't be texting and driving.
Taking
pay attention.
pictures.
We were just making sure. We were testing you to making sure that you were paying attention. But no, I thought it was funny. Everybody, I was reading the comments. You know, we always read the comments when a picture like that is posted. And it was, the best one was, they had one job.
Oh, I think that was from, they had one job.
They had one job.
But Rick Jensen from WDEL said, I guess they couldn't find 6th graders or something like that. But it was crazy.
They did cover up the sign, and they did assure everyone that they are correcting it, which is good. We appreciate that. Being, you know, yesterday was Delaware Day.
I heard.
You know that? So I thought it was very ironic that they spelled Delaware wrong on a sign that was going viral all throughout the state on Delaware Day.
But what if this was a marketing ploy, right? Like, well, it could have been, but if it had a good thing at the end of it, it would be great, right? Like Del Dot, you know, buckle up or something like that. We would, I don't know, but they recovered well. I think at least they tried to recover.
Well,
so.
it got everyone's attention, that's for sure.
Yeah,
it definitely got
I think it made national attention.
I think so too.
Yeah, President Biden, now this. I mean, shoot, what more can we ask for? And I can tell you what more we can ask for. We got some amazing guests today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes,
we got my homegirl, Renata, Wilmington Alliance. Freaking love Renata, and she's here. We're here with the Najee. Do we have the shoe cam?
Oh yes.
Do we have a shoe cam for Renata? Because Renata, look, when you look at Renata's post on her page, right? She's at her desk, legs crossed on her desk, and she's showing her shoe game.
Yes.
The
first thing listen, I appreciate a good shoe game, but I love a little sparkle.
Okay.
And I love that she showed up with a little sparkle today. So that always brightens up my day. So I'm sure it'll brighten up your day as well, everyone at home, when we get a chance to chat with her. We also have Shyanne Miller from the Building People Power in the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League. And then we also have Dennis Carradin from the Trauma Survivors Foundation.
Okay.
So excited and thrilled to meet all three of our guests, and they have some powerful messages. So we look forward to chatting with all three of them.
And that's one of the things here that I love. Like our huge platform, right? We can make sure that people get heard and things can get done, right? So a huge supporter of the Metropolitan Urban League. So shout out to you guys over there. Bam! I think I ran into the Urban League maybe about 5 years ago, and just to see that the young Delawareans, young black folks is doing is just freaking amazing to me. So shout out to the Urban League. For more information, Shyanne, what's that email address for the website for the Urban League? What is it? MWUL.org. Check them out, Metropolitan Urban League here. So I love it. And
So Ivan, you have something going on tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
What's happening? There's an event happening that I don't know about?
I got something going on every day. You see, I walked in here like the guy from the 5 Heartbeats, right?
I actually was worried. I was like, is Ivan showing up today? Am I hosting the show by myself? Because I don't know if I'm ready for all that. I mean, I'm still new. I'm still acclimating myself.
One thing you don't have to worry about me doing is missing a production, okay? Nothing like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ivan. I have to give a shout out to our Good Morning Wilmington crew.
Shout
out to everyone. I mean, it truly does take a village, and being that this is my third segment, filming with everyone, I knew that I was in great hands. So shout out to the Good Morning Wilmington crew. They are doing a phenomenal job making sure that we look good for camera, but more importantly, we get the message out.
Yes.
So tell us about the event tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the Pete DuPont Freedom Foundation, they're hosting a conversation between business owners and young entrepreneurs, and I get interviewed tomorrow by Chris Buccini from BPG here live on DETV. That will be on our pages and the Pete DuPont Freedom Foundation page as well tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So make sure you put a reminder, go into our Facebook, or if you're watching on LinkedIn right now, it will be live on LinkedIn tomorrow. So I'm super super excited about that.
Good luck with that.
I'm gonna try to lose like 15 pounds before tomorrow.
Oh, good luck. Well, don't stop at the restaurant tonight.
You gotta show me one of the right. You gotta show me one of those Miss Delaware techniques. All right, if there is any.
Oh well, hold back on the pasta and bread.
Okay.
Or the penne alfredo with chicken.
See, you know what? We're going to a commercial break. We'll be right back with right after this with Street Break.
I'm Ty Break Jameson, and this is Street Break. Who is the 46th president?
I don't know. No, I can't. I'm not sure.
Can't remember, but I'm gonna take a wild guess. I probably forgot the answer though.
I'm really bad at this. Clinton?
No. Oh, wait. That's kind of recent. Clinton? 46, where are we? What's now?
Biden. Bam. You was that. You were.
Oh my God. I'm
you was
not
right,
even close.
you was right there. You were
Sorry,
right
Joe.
there.
Sorry, Joe. My bad.
Yeah.
Clinton?
46th president is Joe Biden.
Bam, my man.
Oh no. Hell no, I cannot.
Okay.
Is it Joe Biden?
Sixth president. Yes. Yeah. Biden.
Joe Biden.
Bam. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington. Vincenza, this is more on a serious interview right here. You know, we like to bring Wilmington up to date with everything that's going on, but most of all, we make sure that we can help when we can, right?
Absolutely.
And being though that I know, and we all know that everyone watches us, from the mayor's office to the governor's office to the janitor that works somewhere, our whole thing here is to make sure that we get change, right? And get help.
Absolutely,
right?
and that I'm actually really excited that we are able to use this platform at DETV to get the word out.
Yeah, yeah.
And to create that change, because it all starts with a conversation.
Yep, and that's where it is. So if you don't remember, in the early part of the year, I think it was around about September, was it? September 2nd, what happened was there was a flood here in Wilmington, and we were heavily affected. Some areas in Delaware were just devastated. The Vanderbilt Avenue area, which I believe was hit the worst. I actually went down to the park and saw like the flooding of the Brandywine, right? So we have here to talk more about it. And Governor, Mayor, if you're listening, I know you are. We want you to hear this story because there's a lot of people that are still displaced and still need some help right now. And as us being Delawareans, it is for us to help each other. So we have Shyanne Miller from the Metropolitan Urban League. Did I say that right? The Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League, and Tanika Lewis, who's a displaced resident, Delawarean, from the, I was going to say Lancaster Avenue, from, what area was it? Vanderbilt Avenue area. How you ladies doing today? We're making it. I hear you. So, Ms. Miller, tell me about your organization and what you're doing right now through this time, and the help that you need, the assistance that you need.
Yeah, so I am the Building People Power Campaign Manager. It's a program over at the Urban League, and a lot of the work we do centers around making sure that we're addressing some of the racial disparities here in Delaware. And that's pretty much what we do in all of our work, whether it be in the housing arena or if it's in education or economics. We have about 5 specific areas that we work in. But today I'm hoping that we can talk about what happened on September 2nd, and really the fact that it's been 3 months later and all these residents are still displaced. A lot of them are living in motels. Some of them are scattered in other areas. The problem is that the state and the city have not done enough to make sure they get back into permanent housing.
Okay.
So yeah.
So before we started the show, I had the opportunity to chat with Shyanne, and she was letting me know and educating me about what's happening in the city, and how that there are still flood victims that don't have a home, that are still displaced, and that we need more help. We need more support. And I was really excited to have her on the show because we need to get the message out, and we need to continue the dialogue. I know that Tanika has been very active in speaking with multiple TV stations, the publications, and the community, getting the word out and letting people know that, hey, we're still suffering, we're still displaced, we're still in a place where it's not healthy. Yeah. So Tanika, tell us your story, tell us what's happening, tell our viewers.
So, I've spoke to multiple companies, multiple organizations, and you know, we've been receiving many no's. Some who saying they don't have the money, and we have paperwork. Ms. Shyanne has grew up. She sent it to several companies in which they said that they don't have the money, and we know they have the money.
So what companies?
It's been
No, it's that. I can speak to the letter you want me to.
yeah, she was speaking to letters, but she
Okay.
knows.
Okay.
You know, and she wrote them and sent them out to me. I myself spoke to Reach Riverside yesterday because we got word. Okay, so many of us that are still displaced, you know, we come to the realization. Okay, these people say that they don't have the money, so then we'll have a group of people come speak with us at the hotel and get our hopes up in hopes that they have, you know, this money and they have it and they're going to help us. So when we call these places and they say, oh, we don't have this money. We don't have this money. So I was on the phone for 45 minutes with Reach Riverside. I guess it was not the CEO, not Mr. Herring. It was someone under him. And she said, I don't know who told you this. We don't have that money. That's for us to build the homes.
That was my next question, Shyanne, is where with the money that they're saying they have, where is it what is it allocated for?
Yeah, so let me speak a little bit to what a letter was sent to pretty much like almost every state official and city official. So the mayor of Wilmington, Governor Carney, city elected officials and state elected officials, congressional delegates, Reach Riverside, we can keep going, all received a letter basically saying there is a plan that we have to house all these displaced residents.
Right.
And this letter essentially outlines where the funds could come from. So I'm sure you all have heard or know that American Rescue Plan funds are distributed all across the state and into the city. So the city has received an allocation of $55 million. They have $27 million in hand, right? We know that the state has $1 billion with a B billion in American Rescue Plan funds. We know that they've given $25 million over to Reach Riverside. So these are all public funds. We also know that there's a Delaware Housing Assistance Program. If you don't know what that is, it's helping people pay rent.
Right.
And we know that there's about $200 million in that. So what we're proposing is that we are so happy that people are able to stay into a hotel, right? That's important.
Right.
But it's time for people to get out of the hotels and get into some units, right? Into an apartment, into a home. Because people can't cook in a hotel, right?
Right.
Yes.
They can't live in a hotel.
Yeah.
And so what's important is that we start looking at where are the market rate units across the city that these families normally would not be able to afford on their own, and use some of those American Rescue Plan funds and those DHAP funds to basically set them up for a year in those market rate apartments. Now, a lot of families, their incomes aren't going to cover a $1,500 studio apartment, right? Over in like the Cooper apartments, right? That's too high for these families.
Right.
So after that year is done, we know that at the end of 2022, Reach Riverside is going to have finished a lot of their market rate units, and they're going to be able to actually allocate, well, we want them to be able to allocate those units to those families, make them into affordable units, and hand them over to the displaced families. That's what the plan is in this letter. We're hoping that we can get with all of these city and state officials, some of these nonprofit leaders, some of these state agencies that are listed in this letter to get it so that they're able to basically make that plan into a reality.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. No, as you can see, we want to get the message out. We're eager to talk about it even more and utilize this platform to get the word out. You mentioned something, Shyanne, and it hits home. A home, creating a home for these families, being able to cook. That unites a family. It's healthy for a family. It's healthy for their mental state. They don't have that. That's been taken away. So I think it's really, really important, anybody watching, that if you really want to make an impact and you really want to help, we need to find homes, because a home is where it all starts, and be able so they can unite, and it's healthy for their mental health.
I know that the money that you just mentioned, the money that's coming from the state and everything, that's designed for like nonprofits, right? Is there a, and I know the Urban League's a nonprofit, like is that written in there? Because is that the nose you're getting?
No.
Is because it's not for?
Because we're not asking for any specific nonprofit to receive money. What we're asking is, in this letter, we know that, for example, Mayor Przicki has really good relationships with developers across the city like Buccini Pollen. And we also know that the developers that are working in the city and creating all these new market rate units are using what we know as publicly funded dollars. So sometimes they're in the forms of downtown development district funds. Sometimes they're in the form of tax breaks in the city. Sometimes they're in the forms of American Rescue Plan funds, right, down in Reach Riverside. These are all public dollars that are going into units that majority of the people living in the city cannot afford. We cannot afford to live in the residences at Rodney Square or the new apartments above the DuPont or the apartments behind the community service building or the Coopers or the 2000 Pennsylvania Avenue. We can't afford to live in those areas because the rents are too high. But a lot of these places have received some form of tax break, some form of public monies to aid in building them. What we're saying is, let's get that money to the people who need it the most, and let's get those units to the people who need it the most.
Yes.
Outside of the flood victims, right? Like I heard a bunch of nonprofits say, hey, we couldn't get this money because what we found out was that a lot of the money, a good amount of money, has already been earmarked for projects, right? So that's what we heard. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's false, but that's what we heard.
You're hearing it too. That's
Yeah.
that's
That's
exactly
what you're hearing.
what Tanika was saying, is that the money for $25 million is earmarked to go into, for example, for REACH to build those houses.
Yeah.
Cool, that's what's up. Put them houses into those neighbors' hands, right?
Yeah.
They're the neighbors that are sitting in literally right around the corner. Put them
Yeah.
into their hands. That's what needs to happen.
How many families are displaced? Because I think the people need to know that
20 of us.
about 20 families that are living in
And I've heard
hotels,
it's 30
20 to
something.
30.
20 to 30 living in
No
hotels
more than 30.
that since September.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
hearing.
Okay. So
30 of us is at the Fairfield, and then you have some at the Red Group.
and
And you have a couple at the Hope Center.
okay.
I will
Okay.
say this, every agency that I've spoken to so far has been unable to give me a list of the number of displaced families. And I have also known that a
Did it
lot
get
of
lost?
agencies are...
Like did they get lost? Did they get lost? Come on, then talk to me. Come on.
Ask those questions for sure.
Just don't want to give it up.
A lot of people have been asking residents how many families there are. So I do think that there are some questions that need to be asked about exactly how many families are displaced, and that these agencies need to start asking that question.
You know what hurt me last night, right? We were setting up here at the station, and then I left late last night, and I was riding home, right? What hurt me was every time that I'm riding past Rodney Square, I see somebody wrapped in a blanket at a bus stop, right? I still don't get it, why we're the richest country in the world, and kids are hungry and people are homeless. I still don't understand that, right? So I'm asking the mayor, the governor, to personally these are 30 people, 30 families that voted. These are 30 families that pay taxes. These are 30 families that have kids.
Yes.
Right?
That don't have a home.
That don't have a home
And that's a problem.
during the holidays.
Yes.
Home period, displaced. I mean, you can't imagine, right, waking up and there's water in your basement and you lose everything, right? So personally, I'm asking any agency out there that is watching this right now, please get in contact with Ms. Miller over at the Urban League. And can you give your email address or how they can reach in contact with you?
Every agency that received that letter was given a date at the bottom of the letter, which is today, to respond. I do pray that I receive responses from all of those people. And so they can respond at smiller, so SMILLER at MWUL.org.
Now, is there anything that you personally need, like right now?
I want a house.
A home.
I want somewhere to live.
Yes.
I mean, I had a landlord. She reneged. We had a landlord. We had the money. We had the money to move in. She reneged.
Wow. So if there's a landlord out there that can be a blessing to this family right now, feel free to reach out to Ms. Miller.
And I do want to say one thing to Tanika. Tanika, I commend you for being having all the courage to come on the show, tell your story, because a lot of people are scared to tell their story, and you're not. You're fearless. Continue to speak on behalf of all these other families that don't have a home. It breaks my heart to see this, to hear this, and to be able to have this conversation with you. I think it was a blessing that we met today, but I send prayers your way to your family, to all the other families that are displaced, and I hope that we can resolve this. So if you're listening, we need change, and that's why they're here.
All right. And we'll be right back. Ladies, again, thank you so much for coming. And keep us up to date with what's happening so we can, if you need to ring the bell a little louder or pull out the blowhorn, we will.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with Lonnie from Downtown Visions, talking about what's happening downtown. Well, business-wise, all the businesses, all that stuff.
Good morning, Wilmington. This is Lanny Schweiger from Downtown Visions, coming to you with your downtown update. We have a lot of great things happening this month, starting with a grand opening at 1 o'clock at Town and Shore Handcrafted, located at 2nd and Loma. It's a handcrafted leather goods store and downtown's newest business. You can also enter for a chance to win a $200 gift card with Town and Shore. All you have to do is take a selfie with downtown's newest art mural, located in the 500 block of Market Street on the side of the Seville. Tag Downtown Wilm DE and T-Shore Gal, and don't forget to hashtag Shop Small Wilm DE and I Love Downtown Wilm DE for a chance to win. Those two drawings will be held on Christmas Eve. We also have a great IRC by Wilmington series happening this Thursday night at Le Cavalier. That series will run through March 2020 and feature a handful of downtown restaurants with celebrity guest chefs. On this Friday, we have a grand opening at Wilma's, downtown's newest activity center, featuring duck pin bowling, New Orleans style cuisine, and drinks. So come on over at 10 a.m. to Wilma's or check them out this weekend. The Downtown Holiday Village is also back this Saturday in the 500 block of Market Street from 10 to 2. There's going to be a lot of small business vendors selling goods for the holiday season, and it's the perfect place to shop small. You can also bring all of your downtown Wilmington purchases to the Holiday Village for free gift wrapping this Saturday from 10 to 2, and a home good donation for a chance to win a gift card. And those home good donations and food donations will go to benefit Grace Church. Artscapes is having a free ugly sweater event this Sunday, so bring the family out and enjoy that. Blitzen, the holiday pop-up bar, is still happening through Christmas Eve. Wednesday through Saturday, you can enjoy drinks in a festive environment, and it's fun for everybody. The Grand and the Playhouse continue to have great shows for the holiday season, and it's a perfect gift to give this year, tickets to a show. The Nutcracker will be there. They have Wizards of Winter Holiday Rock Show and several other live music events and comedy shows happening. So it's the perfect gift this holiday season. If you're interested in how to shop small downtown, you can check out a couple of our initiatives that are going on. We've got 12 Days of Christmas running through December 12th, and that is with various amounts of downtown businesses, including Kavanaugh's Restaurant, Stitch House Brewery, Circus 7, Eat Clean, Lafayette Gallery, and more. Just go on Downtown Wilmington DE on Facebook or wilmingtonmade.com to check out all the deals. Free shipping runs through the end of the year, and you can enjoy free shipping at any of your favorite downtown businesses, including Al's Sporting Goods, Lafayette Gallery, and Poppycock Tattoo. And the last is Chelsea's Tavern has their famous buy one, get one free gift card sale happening on Christmas Eve. It's something you don't want to miss, so mark it on your calendar.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Renata Kowalczyk, the CEO of the Wilmington Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization created to connect the city of Wilmington communities and creating a better, more livable future for the citizens of Wilmington. Welcome, Renata.
Good morning. Good
Yes.
to be here.
Hey.
It's my second home.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I remember being here when this desk, all of that started being built.
Yes. She just walked in. No, I love her. First of all, I love Renata, okay? I love her. I love her because, like you said, like she's blinging today.
Yes,
but
I
most
love
of all, like Renata, if you know Renata, right, you know Renata has a passion for shoes. And we just talk about that real quick. So can we get a shoe cam real quick? The shoe cam. Look at it. Go ahead, show them, Renata. Now the thing about Renata is listen to this. Renata would take a flight to go get some shoes.
Right. That's correct.
But enough about the shoes. Wilmington Alliance.
Yes.
Talk to us about Wilmington Alliance. What Wilmington Alliance is.
Wilmington Alliance is, as Richard had mentioned, a nonprofit organization that really think of us as ecosystem builders, as a backbone organization. So we support other nonprofit organizations in building their capacity. And our North Star is equitable economic mobility. So the question that we're pondering is how might we build up prosperity and build up wealth in our city through supporting entrepreneurship. So we do a lot of activities. Peter Foundation, that's one of our partners in equitable economic mobility. E3 initiative,
But we also do it through an unemployment. So we've been a backbone entity for Second Chance Employment Collaborative that was announced in March of this year. It's a JP Morgan Chase's national initiative to create pathways to employability and employment for individuals who are criminally justice involved. And just so you understand how critical this is in the city of Wilmington, 52% of our residents are criminally justice involved.
Are you serious? What?
I want to let that sink because that means that many of those individuals are kept from opportunities.
So
their record prevents them from having all the choices that we have.
So a population of 70,000 has a 52% have a criminal
record of some sort.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, that data comes from the ACLU, as well as Senator Darius Brown was doing a lot of work in preparation for the Clean Slate,
right?
Which we had the honor to be here, where the Governor Kearney had signed a number of bills that were pushed through by the Black Caucus. They've done incredible work. A number of bills that were passed related to the criminal justice, all kinds of aspects of the barriers. Clean Slate is one of those. However, that, although it was signed into law, it will not be implemented until August 2024.
Right.
So we have a lot of work.
Yeah.
So equitable economic mobility, we do a lot of work with small businesses. I know that folks were hearing from Lonnie what's going on downtown. Downtown Vision has been our ongoing partner, as well as folks on the west side.
Nice.
With our Wilmington Made, Wilmington Strong.
I want to talk about that too, but go ahead.
I was going to talk about the Wilmington Made, 12 Days of Christmas. Explain that to us, because right before the show started, I even started saying, do you know the song, 12 Days of Christmas? I'm like, do you really want me to belt it out right now? So tell us a little bit about what is the Wilmington Made 12 Days of Christmas?
Yes, so let's start with last year. We all know what happened. And we very quickly, the number of partners in the city that are involved in economic development, CDC is one of our partners. They're focused on the west side, but Sarah Laster, who is the CEO, and I got together and said, what can we do to support Wilmington-based small businesses and help them survive, stop the bleeding, and then how can we continuously support them to continue to stay here, and actually, frankly, it would be great, especially in our commercial corridor. So we launched Wilmington Strong Fund. Through that fund, 25 rounds of applications, we've given out over $308,000.
Wow.
In microgrants to small businesses. We still have a waiting list, so we continue to raise funds. Along, we asked the businesses, what else do you need from us to support you? They said, we don't have marketing and advertising. We don't have presence online. Can you help us?
Yes, and it's very, very expensive. I know that.
Right? If you small mom and shop shop, figure out the whole e-commerce thing. Marketing. So we launched Wilmington Made as a Shop Local campaign.
Right.
And so we've been doing, if you drove around the city, the billboards, that were billboards. We've been doing a lot of different sort of pop-up events. And so we got together with Cornerstone West CDC and Downtown Visions and said, how can we lead into Christmas by inspiring folks to shop locally? So we decided to do a 12 Days of Christmas, December 1st to December 12th.
Love that.
If you go on wilmingtonmade.com, there are over 200 small businesses located in Wilmington that are participating, and they're offering all kinds of specials.
So let me tell you, when I met Renata, right, it was approximately maybe about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, right? And Renata was just amazing.
Right.
And she's not from Delaware, as you can
I
tell,
know.
right?
So Renata told me a little bit about her background and
Right.
how she came to Delaware. She's traveled all over. She's
Right.
lived in all major cities, and so she is no stranger to the city life, but also is a people person.
But her
And-
love for
yes,
Delaware
is-
and Wilmington
I thought she was from Delaware, born and raised.
Right.
The way she was speaking, she was so passionate about it. And she was telling me that she's celebrating 3 years as the CEO of the Wilmington Alliance, which I thought was really special. And she,
Right.
you can sense her passion.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can sense that, and I really do love that. And Renata, I know that we could obviously we enjoy talking about you as you're here.
Right.
But it's important to be passionate about what you're doing because your whole heart is into it, and you will do it well. And I can tell that you're really making a difference. And the fact that she's supporting small businesses, especially what they've all been through this pandemic. I know I'm a small business owner, and I'm still struggling. We're not in the clear yet. We still need the support, the grants, the funds, the marketing, anything to help us stay afloat. It's going to take us a long time before we are back to a place where we feel comfortable, safe. And I don't know when that, when we're going to get there. So what you're doing for these small businesses and supporting local and saying to shop local, I'm all about that. And we appreciate that you are advocating for that and implementing the programs that you're doing and raising funds.
Let's do this. Let us take a step back, right? Sit back, relax, and let Renata tell the camera everything that Wilmington Alliance, what they're doing, and so people can get a, this is Renata. Where the camera at? This is Renata. So Renata, that's your camera, right? Okay. And just go ahead.
She'll take advantage of
Yeah, right. Yeah, go ahead and tell everyone what you're doing.
Sure. So let's start with something that the Wilmington Alliance has done for the last 5 years in West Center City. So in West Center City, we have created a rock lot. So that's it was an empty space that is now community space. Then we created a number of murals and lit up Catawba Alley. And then we said, what about this brownfield that is in the middle of the neighborhood that everybody knows that if it would be in a white neighborhood, it would not be there. But it was there, chemical soup of mercury, lead, and everything else.
Wow.
We purchased that lot, so this is now a site of 7 and West Park and the community garden. And we had this season 35 artist events at that space. So the next project that we're working on in West Center City is we are opening the first in the city of Wilmington shared commercial kitchen. It's called Wilmington Kitchen Collective. We already have first site at Grace Church, and then we have a second church right over there that had asked us to help to open the second location. We have over 50 culinary entrepreneurs that need that space to be able to produce and sell food. So we're growing culinary entrepreneurship in the city.
Love that.
We also took over a building in the corner of 7 and Washington, which was a nuisance property. So next year, you're going to see a beautiful space called Artemat. That is going to be a community space with gallery for artists, with pop-up retail space. So that's West Center City.
Right. Just the west. Right. That's just West Side. Okay.
That's West Center City. We are also creating entrepreneurial support. So we are partners with Peter Pan Freedom Foundation on equitable economic. The E3 program for entrepreneurs. We also have a Wilmington Strong with other partners, Wilmington Made, we mentioned that. We continue to think about what else is needed for the business community. So look out for announcements. Cornerstone West, CDC, and us are partnering on bringing a platform to the state of Delaware called Kiva Hub. It's a national platform that's been deployed in over 40 communities and states around the country that offers 0% small loans.
Go ahead.
Yes. It would allow the businesses who are starting out and are currently non-bankable, allow them to build a credit. So then the next step for them will be to go to CDFI or go to a bank and continue growing.
Excellent.
But if you don't have a credit base, you don't have a chance to grow your business.
Exactly.
And what we want to try to figure out collectively with our partners in the community, what can we do to build up the community from ground up? In economic development, it's called economic gardening. And you know me, I grow my own food in front of my house.
Right. She'll be out there on a Saturday morning, quick, and some dungarees and a bandana.
And last but not least, we're very active in employability and employment, right? We have a Second Chances Employment Collaborative, and we also have a construction collaborative right now going on.
Let me ask you this, Renata. What I love about Renata, right, Vincenza, is that she recognizes her and she uses it for the community, right? My question to you is, what's your why? Why do you do that?
It's a complicated answer, but it all goes back to how I grew up. I grew up in Poland under the communism. And for those who may not really know what that meant is that we had no freedom. We had shortages of food. This is why I love shoes, because I couldn't have them. Everything was rationed. We had to stand in line. We had coupons that will allow you for 300 grams of meat per month. That's all you could get, assuming that there was actually meat in the store. So there is a level of how I grew up to appreciating and experiencing not having and not being okay with that. And then coming to the United States and very quickly recognizing that just simply by the fact that I am white and I have a cute accent, even though I started with nothing, I came here not speaking English and I had $20 in my pocket. Wow. But I was already privileged.
Yeah.
Right? I already had opportunities given to me because the way I look.
Right.
So that's not okay with me. That's number one. And number two, it's my dad. My dad was my hero. Good Polish Catholic girl.
Yeah. I'm a daddy's little girl, so I connect.
And there was this preaching that my dad used to give. He since passed away, but he would always say to me, "Your talents are gifts from God.
Yes.
If you don't use them to leave the communities, to leave the people that you live with, no matter where you live, where your home is, you don't use them to create a better life for folks, to leave the world better that you found it, then you might as well return them back, because that's a gift wasted." And it's been always on my back of my mind. It's like, everywhere I moved, I lived in Bellingham, Washington, I lived in DC, I lived in New York, I lived in Maryland. The question that I always asked was, how might I serve?
Love it. Yes. Daggone it, Renata.
I know.
Love you even. Yeah, I love you even more now.
She's a dad girl just like me, but you know what fuels your fire. Yes. And I can tell just from meeting you today the passion that you have, and I continue to do what you're doing and making a difference. And it's beautiful that you have a purpose. So thank you.
Can you give everyone, for more information about how can they contact or see what Wilmington Alliance is doing, can you give them the information for that?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I actually love talking to anyone, so email me, because I love meeting people and I love learning. Our website is wilmingtonalliance.org, but my email address is ceo@wilmingtonalliance.org, also Renata, RENATA, @wilmingtonalliance.org. Email me with ideas, with projects, and I would love to chat.
Love it. Thank you so much again for coming. Renata, you freaking amazing. I'm like, that's a new title on her card, is Renata freaking amazing. Who do we have next coming up?
Yeah, so we have Dennis Carradin from the Trauma Survivors Foundation, but first we got to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
All right.
As soon as I got here, I just felt the warm embrace of the community, man. Like, what y'all got going on is wonderful. And no wonder y'all called the work group, because y'all putting that work in. For real, seriously, y'all getting the work done.
We are committed to creating the best Riverside we can, with the community, for the community.
Auto accident, medical negligence, work injury. Contact Team Tice, your Delaware personal injury lawyers. Leroy Tice in Wilmington, Delaware, serving and supporting the people of Delaware. Call 302-489-2400. That's 302-489-2400. Online at teamtice.com.
Welcome back. And if you didn't get a chance to see, which you probably didn't, but Dennis was damn near running like a 20-yard dash. All the way
Dotson's
over.
high school, right?
Right. How you doing? Oh, so we need to bring him in.
Oh,
the
yes.
correct way.
Oh, please
Okay.
let me introduce.
You got it, girl.
I am so excited to introduce this next guest, a good friend of mine, Dennis Carradin from the Trauma Survivors Foundation. I am so excited he is here with us to tell us a lot about the foundation. And just for anyone at home just tuning in, for those of you who don't know, I own a restaurant, an Italian restaurant in North Wilmington called V&M Bistro. And I met Dennis through the pandemic.
Okay.
He is a pizza connoisseur.
Oh.
So, yes. And he went around to all the pizza places and did pizza reviews.
Did you?
Yes.
I did.
And he was drumming up some, I guess you would say, drumming up some business for the businesses by doing these pizza reviews and some it was great marketing.
Yeah.
And he ended up selecting V&M Bistro as the best pizza, margherita pizza to be exact. So he was really, really, really excited that we were able to connect and meet, and ever since then, we have continued to build a relationship. But Dennis, welcome. We are so happy you're here.
Thank you. Bring me back to my hometown. Unlike everybody else, I am a Wilmington native. So I came back, and when we did that, we did very specifically for the Hospital Heroes Food Drive.
Yes.
So our contest, which I have gained probably 100 pounds on at the pandemic level for doing this, the contest was find the best pizza in northern Delaware. Now, my backstory, I'm a St. Anthony's guy, so I've been flipping pizzas for the St. Anthony's Italian Festival
forever,
for 100 years.
Right.
So I started this program of going in, and I would test the pizzas in North Wilmington, find the one that was the best, kind of rate it online. Now, it was great marketing for the people that had good pizza. It was horrible marketing for some of the other ones. I am very honest when it comes to pizza. And so actually Vincenzo's brother had coached my son and daughter in St. Anthony's in grade school for soccer. And so I was like, oh, I'll go up to V&M. Blew me away. Honest to God, blew me away. We ended up purchasing 60 pizzas for AI DuPont Children's Hospital for the emergency room.
Nice.
During the pandemic, we started this program. We just delivered our 30,000th, however you say it, 30,000th meal to our hospital heroes in 60 locations.
Nice.
From New York all the way down to DC.
Nice. Let me now. Okay, now I'm gonna jump in. One, you're right. V&M Bistro is amazing. Okay, you get that.
I appreciate
this. What is your why with this? I'm fascinated with whys.
The why was simple. So I'm founder and CEO of the Trauma Survivors Foundation. We work with trauma survivors. We started right after the Sandy Hook shooting. I was brought up there. My main career, I'm a trauma therapist.
Okay.
I was up there for about a month after the shooting, but I've been worldwide for major events. Was at 9/11, was down at Hurricane Katrina, and so forth. So after Sandy Hook, we developed the foundation to make sure people had mental health services.
Right.
One of the things that we've done is worked in the hospital with our first responders, our nurses, our docs. Right. So long story short, for the why, my wife is a nurse practitioner. At the time, she was working at Jefferson Hospital when the pandemic broke out. Shutdown happens. The nurses were getting just pounded. She was a cardiac crisis nurse that was brought into the ICU and then brought into the COVID units. I called her and I said, "Hey, have you eaten today?" And she said, "Nah, somebody brought pizza somewhere, and then patients got it, and there was nothing open." So I said, not on my watch. Not, hey, my lady she needs to eat.
Right.
We called a couple of friends that own restaurants. We do a ton of stuff in Philadelphia, down here in Wilmington. Called a few friends, and first thing we had was like 100 burritos. And that was our first meal to Jefferson. Then a buddy of mine, John Schaefer, and Rob Wright, and Ray Shyanne, a couple other friends in different organizations were like, well, we got to make this even bigger. And I'm like, okay, as long as I could get to feed Jefferson first, we're okay. And then we went from Jefferson to Penn, then we came down to Christiana, then we were at Wilmington Police, and all these are the folks that we already worked with. And then we put it up on the web, and that's where it went insane.
Crazy.
Yes.
So it literally started with Laura. It started with my wife. I just needed to feed her. And then next thing we know, we're feeding hundreds and hundreds of people. So
I am really, first of all, his voice, took me back. Did we meet before?
We probably have.
Yeah, because I remember the story. It was so clear. I remember it was this guy going around feeding everybody.
Yes, no,
You just don't forget that. You know what I mean?
And Dennis was making an incredible impact on the community, especially when the community was suffering so much during the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, he was helping first responders, healthcare workers, feeding them because they were working so hard trying to make sure everything else was going well and going okay.
Well, salute to you, Dennis, and your partners that helped you out with that. That was amazing.
The great part about it was we were meeting folks, not just Vincenzo, but other small businesses. Sadly, out of the 100% of our restaurants that we've used, our partners, about 45% had to close their doors. And so our hope was, we're trying to get you enough to get you by, but the pandemic really hit hard in certain locations. Obviously, down here in Delaware, we had partnered with several out in Manayunk, and one of our just absolute best allies, Bourbon Blue up there with Brandon and Melissa and all. They had to close because of the pandemic. So even as much as how robust our program became, unfortunately, the program did what it did.
And that's the cruel reality of this pandemic. There are still small businesses that are suffering and closing down every single day. So we're not in the clear. So keep that in mind, folks, that there's still ways to get involved. And please take the opportunity to look up Hospital Heroes and be able to help small businesses in a way that not only are we feeding healthcare workers and first responders, we're helping small businesses more importantly.
And business is the backbone of the city. Let's not forget about that. So, any way that people can help. And speaking of help, do you guys operate off of donations? How do you operate?
Absolutely. We've been funded primarily by donation. Our events, if anybody wants to get involved, I will put out it there. You can go to the TraumaSurvivorsFoundation.org or HospitalHeroesFoodDrive.org. We actually have a couple of events coming up. We have a comedy show that we're a part of. That it's always, you have to have a little levity in the trauma and what we do. So it's Thursday night up at Bellefonte Brewery, which is right near V&M Bistro, local place.
Stop in and get your slice of pizza.
Get your slice of pizza. Go up see comedy.
Yes, I really appreciate all this.
I shout this out.
I really appreciate this.
Well, when you find good people, and you find people that are willing to help. Look, and side note with it is that you want to help the people that help you, but you also want to help the people that want to help the community. And that's what we're about. And we have Santa Fest on Saturday night. So Santa Fest again is at Bellefonte Brewery.
What's Santa Fest?
So Santa Fest is come in dressed as your favorite Santa. You're going to have a good time. You're going to get a local beer. You're going to get a Bellefonte Brewery beer. Our guys from the 302 Foulings Foundation will be up helping us out. They're a great foundation that we work with. But we're up there just to have fun. So we want to do the sexy Santa. We want to do the fun Santa, maybe dirty Santa, whatever Santa we can get. We want people to wear.
Have you checked out Bellefonte Brewery?
No, I've never been.
It's right up the street from V&M Bistro. Great place.
I'm gonna need to check it out.
Yeah, Dennis has been hosting a few of his events there. With the Trauma Survivors Foundation benefiting Hospital Heroes. And it's been very successful. I think the last event he had, there was no more parking in the parking lot. They were parking all the way down Marsh Road, past Silverside Road, all the way near the restaurant.
So we started the Delaware Beer Fest before the pandemic, and so this year we decided, well, we'll see how many people we can get. Ooh, we got a lot of
it.
But we did do, and again, another shout out to Vincenzo, we did a pizza eating contest. We had 10 folks slamming down delicious V&M Bistro pizza. My man ate two whole pizzas.
One guy ate 2 whole pizzas?
8 minutes. I want to be his cardiologist, honestly. I'd make a mint on this guy.
One guy, 2 damn, and your pizza's not small.
No.
She
These are
said no.
hardy. These are
She said no.
hardy pizzas.
Well, just to go back to the Trauma Survivors Foundation, Dennis, what made you get into this? What was what fueled your fire with the Trauma Survivors Foundation?
A very, very long story, but I went into psychology very pure. I like the science of it. So during my bachelor's degree, I actually got hooked up with my mentor. He was from the Philadelphia Fire Department. And he said, hey, you look like a guy that could work with first responders. And I'm like 20 years old at the time. I'm like, okay. And I had done volunteer work here in Delaware. I am a former volunteer firefighter. That's a young man's game at this point. And from there, I started working with the Philadelphia Fire Department. I started getting involved in our state's critical incident stress team. Now I'm clinical director for the team for the state. I'm with Philadelphia's team, Upper Darby's team, and we continued to start broadening this. So I'm actually one of the grandfathers of this trauma psychology movement.
Nice.
And so way back, one of my first runs was the Columbine shooting, of being flown out there to work with the families. And since then, it's, you know, any day of the week, I'm either at the office, I'm either flying somewhere, driving somewhere, or taking care of a 5-month-old. So, you know, we're all over the place. So.
Dennis focuses a lot on mental health, and mental health is so critical right now, especially during this pandemic. Absolutely. You know, we say that we're in the clear, we are not. So Dennis has been making an impact on the community in so many different ways, and even before this pandemic. And Dennis, we appreciate everything that you're doing and that continue to do for the Trauma Survivors Foundation, also with Hospital Heroes. Please, if you have not heard of it, check them out. I highly recommend it. Dennis, thank you.
I want to see some of those pictures from the Santa Fest.
Yeah.
That I want to see. But we'll be right back. Check out these behind the scenes of DETV.
DETV is a group of us who are just doing what we love to do best, and that's bringing Delawareans the news that's been missing for far too long in TV news.
DETV to me is a bunch of hardworking professionals that come in and day out to provide the best content, the best programming that we can provide, because we care about this state and the viewers and the residents, our neighbors, our communities, our families, our friends. We want to just provide them with the best content possible, and we're so privileged to be able to do so.
I would describe DETV as a powder keg. Energy undefined.
You gotta love the behind the scenes here. Vincenza ran to the desk, right? Look, wait, I'm gonna show you. Wait a minute. Hold on. You got me, Tim? You got me?
Stop.
Vincenza ran to the desk, right? Came to the desk, and Dennis was counting down 5, 4, 3, and she said, just pushed all her stuff on the floor.
I had a water bottle, a pen, my note cards, my lipstick. I was just like, all right, okay, we're back.
All right, we're back.
Sometimes,
beautiful show.
Yes, oh my gosh, great people.
Heart tugging. Yes.
It really does strike an emotional chord. We're so thrilled that we're able to have such incredible people on Good Morning Wilmington, making a difference, getting the word out. But listen, viewers, we're not done yet. We have this platform here that we're creating the conversation, creating the dialogue to make a difference. It's up to you to really make a stand in your community. So I do think it's important that you take note. Please help these organizations that were on the show today, because we need to make change.
So we have Shyanne Miller of campaign manager, community organizer, building people power at the Metropolitan Urban League of Delaware. Make sure that you reach out. If you're a governor, mayor, county exec, we still have over 30 families that are displaced from the flood. Please reach out to them, or any organization, landlords that have something that they can, apartment or something that they can get these people out of hotels, motels, and get them into some housing. We had Renata from Wilmington Alliance doing some great things with small businesses here. And we had
Dennis Carradin from the Trauma Survivors Foundation. benefiting hospital heroes, just making a difference.
Yeah.
One meal at a time, and I love it.
One meal at a time. Current events coming up. Check out Good Morning Wilmington with Jordan Hines and Sasiana, and that is Mondays at 10 a.m. Make sure, if you didn't buy your ticket yet for Delaware State's Presidential Fundraising Ball, it's this Saturday. Make sure you do that. I'm not going to give you the website because I'm going to screw it up, but just Google DSU, Delaware State University, and they have the information there. Did we hit everything, Vincenzo?
I believe there's a few more events happening this week. There's the Santa Fest that Dennis Carradin from the Trauma Survivors Foundation mentioned. That's this Saturday. Also, the Women in Business Luncheon is tomorrow from Delaware Today magazine. Definitely check that out. It's a great networking event. I really enjoy attending that event every year. So there's so many events. I mean, the holidays, there's events every week. So definitely check out all the events that are happening. Please, it's important to get involved in the community, supporting each other, supporting local businesses, and shop local.
And one thing about shopping local, right? There is no parking downtown Wilmington until like January 3rd or thing. After 12 p.m. You still got the 2-hour parking limit. Najee, what else were you saying that we need to mention? What else? Huh? Oh, yeah, check us out tomorrow. Check us out tomorrow here on DETV. I am being interviewed by Chris Buccini and from the Pete DuPont Freedom Foundation, the E3 movement that Renata was talking about. So super excited about that.
Yes, and we have to thank our sponsors.
Woo!
Make sure sponsors are the backbone of Good Morning Wilmington, DETV.
Yes.
So if you would like to be a sponsor,
please
give us a call.
give us a holler. Go to Leslie at DETVCH.com if you'd like to be a partner with us, because as you can see, we have, and Leslie's over there looking like, what? we have at least about 10 people that work on this show day in and day out. Right. And this is, for the community. So
but two sponsors we have to highlight.
Go ahead.
Newcastle County Government, Dart Transit. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. We are forever grateful.
Yeah, forever grateful. Yes. Shoot, I'm really grateful. Let's wrap this thing up. We got some stuff to do. We had a great show. You have a good show?
Always.
So. All right. Good Morning Wilmington. We'll see you next week.